Thomas Tuchel talk to you at that point? Was there any conversations that you had with the England manager?
I had an open conversation with him and just said, look, I felt like I wasn't at my best. I was coming into the England camps and maybe I didn't feel like I deserved to, even what I've done previously, but I'm not one of those players who goes off previous performances and goals and what I've achieved in my career. You know, I think football is always changing and it's about here and now and how you're performing. So I felt like going into the camps, sometimes I didn't deserve it. There's other players that maybe deserved it. And yeah, I was thankful, like I said, to be left out in the March camp because I knew that's what I was capable of doing. And yeah, I'm glad I had that time out so I could refocus and get back to my best.
When you talk about refocusing there and you talk about that time out the camp, what exactly did you look at in your game to realise that you needed to improve or get better? And what did you do?
No, I think it was just about, you know, we play so many games every year, you know, playing 3 games a week, travelling in Europe. You know, just having that time off on the international break that I hadn't had before, just to refocus and enjoy the time with my family, appreciate the little things, and yeah, rest the body because I knew we had a big end of the season coming up. I don't know if you've seen, but I wrote a lot of things on my mirror in my dressing room, and yeah, manifested it, and all of those things, well, above them, came true.
It's been such a long season now. Obviously, you've had the success of being in Europe and winning that trophy. Yeah. How are you mentally coming into this? And then how also do you prepare for a long tournament, but also a tournament which has got so much travelling in it, but also the humidity, the heat that's going to be in question as well?
I think the only thing different is obviously the heat. You know, we play so many games a year. I'm used to travelling. I'm used to being away from the family, you know, spending a lot of time in the hotel. So at the end of the day, you know, this is what this is what I've always dreamed of doing, you know, being at a World Cup with England. So if it means, you know, having to sit in my room for 6 weeks and it means we'll win the World Cup, then I'll take that.
Ian, I think Ollie spoke really well there. He spoke about not deserving to be in that March camp, and that can take someone one of 2 ways. But for him, it gave him the determination, and ultimately having that extra rest might be beneficial for him during the World Cup.
I agree, completely agree. But also, if you look at his form since that international break in March, he had 11 starts for Aston Villa and he scored 11 goals in those 11 starts. And even in March, I actually still thought, because of his tournament experience, I still thought he was in pole position to come here as the understudy to Harry Kane. And I think knowing his role in the squad, he knows that Harry Kane is going to start most games. But Harry Kane, with the heat and the nature of the intense schedule, Harry Kane will probably not see out the entire sort of like 90 minutes. So Thomas Tuchel might be thinking 60, 65 minutes into a game, I'm looking to make a change. Now, do I play Jude Bellingham in a more advanced role, or do I look to Ollie Watkins to come off the bench and try and grab me a goal, as he did in the Euros in Germany 2 years ago? And so in that sense, Ollie Watkins will have the confidence to arrive here in good shape, but also that mental resilience, knowing what it takes to come off the bench to try and help your country.
Yeah, Stephen, break down the role of Ollie Watkins and the qualities he'll bring as a footballer when he is called into action. What can he do within that team to make a difference?
Well, he's different from Harry Kane because we know Harry Kane likes to drop into midfield areas. He likes to overload in those areas and get on the ball and almost be like a playmaker. Whereas Ollie Watkins doesn't want to do that. He wants to play higher up the pitch. He wants to play on the shoulder. He brings a different type of style than Harry Kane does, and like Dano says there, if you want to change the game, how do you change it? Do you go like for like, or do you actually change your style a little bit more and you can go a little bit more direct and stretch the defence? Then that opens up spaces in midfield. I think the great thing is that his form has picked up and he's a natural goal scorer, and we've seen it before at England where he's come off the bench and he's played a vital role where he's scored goals. And sometimes you can have an incredible World Cup by playing 15-20 minutes in games by having an impact, and I think that Ollie Watkins will have that in his mind now, knowing that Harry Kane's going to be the #1 player, but he will be thinking, I'm going to have a huge impact on this World Cup, and I really hope he does.
And the other thing, Gigi, when he talks about those messages that he wrote on the mirror, he put World Cup, win Europa League, obviously Aston Villa did that, and then there was another one in purple that says, we all have self-doubt, don't deny it, embrace it. And 9 games left, 5 goals the target. I think he hit his targets.
I think manifesting things is the way to go. We had a player, Bianca Andreescu, who said she manifested winning the US Open by picturing the check, which was, what, $3 million? So I think we all need to spend a little bit of time manifesting each day. Before we do that, to hear from Jordan Henderson, 35 years of age now, just the 4th English player to have an international career lasting over 15 years. So joins the likes of Peter Shilton, Stanley Matthews and Wayne Rooney, and he's been telling the guys what it means to be called up again this summer.